Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred, joined by RVF World Champion Sonny Edwards in the immediate aftermath of Iron and Baluta's victory against Baluta-Foster tonight. Sonny, you've obviously sparred Brad, you've had him in your camp. What did you make of the fight?
I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was quite entertaining. It did get scrappy at times, but I think with the two styles of Brad and Baluta, it's probably expected. There's quite a lot of action, a lot of solid shots through, and it was a lot of honest work. I mean, they're probably getting a bit frustrated with each other at times, and I thought Brad probably started off the better. I think he put a lot into the early rounds, and I think it was a bit scrappy down the backstretch. I do think it was a close fight. At the final bell, I was probably eking with Brad, but I came 3 hours down to watch Brad, so maybe that's the reason. But it was a very good fight, genuinely, and you know, a bit gutted for Brad, but Baluta's no mug. Like, let's not, you know what I mean? He's a good fighter. He's beaten some good fighters as well. Beaten former world champions, beating Davey Oliver Joyce. You know, good fighters. Good fight against Mark Conlon. So Brad can come again. You got to remember, when you have these fighters coming from the kickboxing background, they're learning a lot more on the job than someone that spent 17 years in a boxing ring. So there's still a lot of things, and I think stylistically Brad could have made that a whole lot easier. I think he showed bits in there when he was moving, had his strong feet, was landing clean. He was scoring well, but I think when he was holding his feet and trying to go under, and it was getting a bit scrappy, he was falling in a bit too much for my liking and getting caught in the no man's land. So things to work on, but it wasn't a bad performance. It was probably more of a frustrating one, and had he got the win and he'd be buzzing, and he didn't get it, so back to the drawing board. But it's boxing, you know. So.
You'll know Brad personally, obviously, the time you've spent together. How difficult will it be for him to overcome this on the back of, obviously, a Cunningham loss, this defeat as well?
Yeah, he'll be gutted because I know him, but the Cunningham, I've seen Cunningham earlier, and he's a good fighter, but again, I thought Brad won that one. I thought that one, I thought he won. This one, I wasn't really arguing, but I kind of edged it to Brad just on some of the cleaner work, but I can see why it went the other way. I really can. But Cunningham one, I thought he won. I thought he won relatively clear, not clear, but I thought he won. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating, but Brad wasn't even probably expected to win a British title, let alone be competing and be headlining BT. And look, there's going to be loads of interesting fights. British level around that, there's loads of fighters, it's cluttered. You've even got people like Dennis McCann that have jumped up to his weight now, so there's interesting good fights. Not everyone needs to be 20 million and 0 to be a good fighter or be a decent fighter or to have a level where they belong in the sport, and that was a great fight. I was entertained, I was jumping up and down in my seat, and yeah, it is what it is. Gutted for Brad, like I said, because I did want him to win, but
so I just want a word on yourself as well. So you've seen a lot of kind of back and forth between yourself and Paul Butler. Do you think that's a fight we could see you moving up for it, or?
I mean, whatever back and forth you've seen, I've not seen, because there's been back and no forth, or forth and no back, one of the two. But yeah, I've heard that they don't want the fight. I've heard that the trainer don't want the fight. I've heard media outlets getting headlocked by his trainer for putting polls about who'd want to see that fight and stuff. So I think they're really trying to do everything to put that under the blanket. They was probably fuming when Probellum put out who'd want to see Paul Butler next. Sonny Edwards is the first name. Their head probably fell off, but yeah, like I said, if I was them, I'd stay a million miles away from me. You know, they've got my brother in their gym, they know how good he is, and from that they can probably work out how good I am. You know what I mean? So I'll leave that there. But yeah, if I could fight Paul Butler, I'd do it in my next fight. I'd go up 2 weights, I'd win that world title. Would I stay there? Who knows? I might come down and collect one at super flyweight on the way back down to flyweight. Who knows?
What do you think is most likely for you next?
Don't know. There's probably about 6 or 7 names in the air. If you ask me what makes logical sense of how I understand boxing, I'm waiting and been trying to, you know, find out what's going on with my mandatory. It should be coming around the corner. Ricardo Sandoval was the mandatory due. I don't know what's going on with that. I want to find out. That could be a good entertaining fight. Maybe it could happen in America. But yeah.
Another name, Sonny, I've seen mentioned is, I'm not sure which one which will happen, but Prince Patel. He's obviously been very vocal about you. What have you made of his most recent interview and obviously calling for the fight?
It's just the same, isn't it? I mean, I wanted to fight him when I was 5-0. He said no. He went to about 32 countries around the continent and others to collect easy wins and easy belts. And now because I've gone and fought a hard fight and won a world title and had to do it the hard way to get there, and all the in-between fights and a couple of domestic because I've done all of that and took all those risks, now because Prince Patel wants to fight me, I've got to bow down and give him a world title opportunity. Like, but that being said, I will fight him. Like, but it's hard for me to sit with. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hold on. Like, why am I playing fiddle to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, I should be telling him when it's time for him to fight me, not him making 100 YouTube videos and getting 400 views and thinking that he's super massive famous. He would just be getting a cheap payday, like, that he don't really deserve. Like, he just said how big his dick is on iFilm a couple of times, and now what? You want him to get loads of money to fight me for my world title? It doesn't really make logical sense, but if people want to see it, so be it.
Right, Sonny, we'll leave that there now. Leave you to shoot back and enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for speaking to me.